Ziggity Zig back with the Friday Faff, and this is a submitted game from a new viewer by the name of Bomdagor. It was over there on YouTube, whose name on YouTube is, it's BomDX. I should have looked this up, but I didn't. But I will link to Bomdagor's YouTube channel down below, so you can follow him, check him out. He leaves some really excellent comments and has really been helping me out quite a bit. So here's a PvZ between Bomdagor and Sinear. Sinear down here in the bottom right of Ohana LE, and it looks like the two are currently going with a pretty standard, just sort of opening with the macro build and whatnot, but of course we're only at 9 right now, so this is probably when Bomdagor is going to set up a first pylon, which is going to be down here. So this is interesting, and this is going to be a Forge FE. Now, enough is the interesting thing here, because what I find here is that I cannot still see pylon boundaries and replays. That really bothers me, but here comes the Overlord from Sinear. I'm just going to speed it up by 1 speed just for these few opening seconds, because there's really not a whole lot going on. This Overlord is going to go over and check out the natural expansion down here, who is also going to be checked out by Bomdagor, who is just doing a quick little peek around with the probe, checking for a early spawning pool, or maybe even an on-time spawning pool, looking for any gas, looking for anything else. Once you don't spy that spawning pool, you go down here and you think, aha, there we go, and we're off to the races because there is an expansion. So that leaves me pretty safe to continue with my 1-gate expand, which is awesome, because this is something that Bomdagor is trying to get me into, because I've been working too much on the FFE and not enough on a 1-gate expand. For some reason, I fear the gate expand a lot more than I fear the FFE. The FFE, I just kind of, got used to and sort of started trusting in, so that's just how that went. Now, here we go with Bomdagor having a pretty decent idea as to what's going on, because now Bomdagor realizes that, boom, if you see the vision down here of the different buildings, because you always only see buildings, but the units are the things that disappear, so Bomdagor sees, yep, spawning pool, about half done. Now, if you could look over here at what Sinear can see, Sinear now just sees this, now sees the expansion, so it's only just getting an idea as to what's going on, but does not know really what's up behind any of these pylons, just knowing that early up on in the game, this pylon and this gateway is pretty much 100% of what could be going on at the moment. Now that is kind of an interesting, going for a Forge, okay, not going for a Cyber Core just yet, but I suppose being able to defend yourself with just Zealots. Now here comes kind of an interesting move by Sinear, who's moving just about all, I see, that was a pretty sweet move, because Sinear decides that on a worker just migration from one base to the other, that is also going to do a quick little attack on Bomdagor's initial probe. I kind of like that. So here comes the Forge. It's probably going to be used for just a little bit of cannon defense on this main line here, just because Bomdagor only has melee units defending at the moment. 2 units to start, but that's pretty good as of now. There goes a cannon just there, not by the returning probe. That would have been pretty elite. I would have been pretty stoked about that. 1 gas so far, working on just about, goodly number of workers. Bomdagor getting just a couple more to add it to even things out with Sinear. Sinear now working on the 1 expand, followed by the 2nd expand, and the defensive circling sitting right there. So this Overlord is just sort of maneuvering its way around and just making sure that everything is seen. Now, this Overlord is probably going to get a bit of a poke from this cannon, just to scare it off in one direction. Nothing really bad is going to happen to it once it gets over here. Gets a couple of hits off, and that's 50% down, but that does not do all that much. Here come 3 Zealots that are going to do a small poke as well, mostly because Bomdagor has not seen what's going on since the initial expand, so perhaps a look at the 3rd might be in order, but it's also possible that that's not going to happen, and Bomdagor is just going to go up here and do a quick harassment. However, they were possibly seen by Sinear while moving in, and so these 2 Spore Crawlers going in are going to do a fair amount of damage. Now, it's too bad that Bomdagor did not see or attempt to get to this 3rd base, because that would have been pretty spiffy right there. Bomdagor losing a couple of hits just there, and these Queens are probably going to take them out before either of these get much in the way of kills done. So I think as far as units killed and workers killed, still no workers killed, and I don't think they're going to be able to take out this Queen. A Transfuge should be coming up here by Sinear, and it might not, but it might just be enough to just micro them around. And meantime, Bomdagor missing out on a couple of those, but at the moment I think Bomdagor is probably working on a few different things all at once. Yep, getting a few gateways back at home. Bomdagor does manage to pick off that Queen, and now comes in here, and this is when Sinear loses sight of what is going on. Bomdagor getting 1 more attack right there on that, and that does take out the remaining zealot of the initial forces. Now there's a few more gateways on their way down at the moment, so it's pretty much just standard gateway style. Bomdagor getting a little bit high, and the oh no, there's a chrono boost right there. That probably went to finish off the cybernetics core. Yes, it did. Here comes the robotics facility. So on 2 bases, you can get into the robotics facility, especially given the fact that all you're seeing so far. Now I'm not sure if Bomdagor saw. Yep, did see the roach warren. So knows that there's a roach warren. Probably gonna see some roaches. You don't usually. Well, you could do a rope-a-dope on the roaches if you cancel it before it's in. That would be a handy style thing to do, where you get rid of the roach warren all of a sudden, and then boom, infestation pit if you had the layer up. Probably not really happening at this point. What I did fail to mention is, as this game was loading up, it does show you, even in the replays, what league everyone is in. So Bomdagor being in Gold League, sinear being in Silver. I don't know if Bomdagor is probably like me, maybe just kind of in like top 50, and sinear, chances are, might even be top 8 Silver, or could be just kind of low, because obviously things are all over the place. I get all these, well, not all these, but I do get complaints from UCMOP mentioning that in his initial placement matches, he was actually placed up against Masters players twice. Not once, but twice, up against Masters players, and he only just recently made it to Silver League. So here is, sinear's doing a really good job of just sort of taking control of the map, just moving out a few things, but the only problem with that is that it sort of leaves you susceptible to, let's say, Phoenix attacks. There goes an observer out that sinear could be able to see, but just is not having that much of a peek at, because right now sinear still does not know what is up here in this main base. So with these many overlords out, this seems like quite a gamble when you have no idea what's going on. I mean, yes, it does seem like Bomdagor has only been going with gateway units for the moment, but since you don't know what's up here in the main base, and you're just sort of wandering around with all these free-floating overlords with no air support whatsoever, not even like Hydralisk having a queen come with you, spore crawlers down here in the main, this is just sort of an interesting maneuver where, yes, the tentacles of the earth rise up to destroy the rocks. Bomdagor comes in here with his observer to have a look and just says, what the F is going on up in here? 26, so we're definitely saturated at the 3rd base. Probably done a little too much of a split there with a whole lot of overlords being created here by sinear. So it seems like sinear is having a little bit of a problem with the economy. We're just sort of running rampant with minerals, just trying to get rid of them, trying to just set up as many overlords as possible. Now, on the other hand, here comes Bomdagor with a pretty decent, yeah, they're pretty even on EPM at the moment, so they're just sort of in high, or mid-90s currently. There's another 38 Zerglings in production right now for sinear, but it does look like Bomdagor is just sort of progressing at a fairly even rate, not too much of a problem, saying maybe a little bit behind just based on the fact that I'm not sure Bomdagor actually, no, with that observer, Bomdagor did finally get through and managed to spot the 3rd base, and now just trying to get a little bit of base detection out, and the problem is just in time spots out a small force of roaches coming out, but this isn't even an immortal sentry army, but these immortals and these sentries within this army is going to be enough to take care of this. Now here comes a couple more photon cannons just to hold off a small wave like this. I don't know if you want anything maybe down here on this corner would probably be pretty hot, but in order to do that you need to get a pylon. So obviously you can't get everything you want all at once, so you just need to sort of take your small victories as you can. Here comes a warp prism by Bomdagor, which is probably a pretty sweet idea. Again, I usually say things like probably because I have no idea what I'm talking about 100% of the time. I don't know anything enough about this game. And of course, this actually, I haven't even mentioned, this is still a Wings of Liberty replay. This is one that Bomdagor sent me just the other day. Oh, there's a macro hatch. I didn't even notice that. Is that another one? No, that's just the army. So this is quite a large-ish army, but with Sentry Immortal and just this number of sentries within here. And a little bit of power here. So we've got 1-1 versus, what are we up against? We are up against 1-0, and that's just Carapace, so that's not too big of a deal. But this is still a Wings of Liberty game because, of course, yesterday, Waka 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 with my first HOTS game, that was me just being stupid. No, I'm not changing over to a League of Legends channel. I occasionally like playing League of Legends just because, honestly, I find it relaxing just to sort of come down and only control one unit at a time. I mean, you can argue back and forth all you want that League of Legends is harder than StarCraft 2, but you'd be, well, wrong. So here comes a forward unit, and I'm not sure. Oh, sinear is just able to check this out just at the corner of the vision here. Just sees these warping in zones, wondering what the crap is going on. But then, oh, once Bomdagor actually does spot, this overlord here just decides to send out the one zealot just to see what's going on. and then brings in the rest of them up here to the top of the base, and hopefully we'll be able to do something about this. So this one zealot over here has distracted Sinear enough to bring in these 4 zealots, and these 4 zealots are hopefully going to get in here and do a little bit of work. We're going to have a look at the workers killed, and it's only up to 4 at the moment, and it looks like, oh no, with the speed of these roaches, I think they actually have the roach speed. Yep. No, just rapid regeneration. So I'm not sure they have the roach speed just yet. Move while burrowed. No more workers killed. However, it will affect the income level. Try to kite these roaches with these stalkers, but of course up comes a Mutalisk, and now this War Prism is definitely not going to be long for this world. Oh my goodness. So just quite the unit composition going on right here for Sinear. Sinear doing a very excellent job. This Spire took quite a lot of damage, which was pretty sweet. There is some ground level 2. The Templar Archives is on the way, so charge, extended thermal lance, so lots of upgrades going on right now for both players actually. Nothing happening right here for flyer attacks, despite the fact that he's got a small little kill squad here. Nah, it's pretty small, only 7. But what kind of defense? Bomdagor does not have all that much defense up here, and really only working on sort of Colossus and Immortals. And the charge lots are on their way down, but Blink has just only started now, so hopefully that will hold them off for a little bit. Once again, look at this map coverage by Sinear. This is just ridiculous. I cannot get over this. Look, you got an Overlord and an Overseer sitting over here. I am the Lord of everything. Yeah, well, I see better than you. And these Mutalisks over here in the corner are just kind of waiting, biding their time, waiting for anything good to happen. Doesn't seem to like too many good things are going to happen. We're at +3 in Blink. If those can finish before these Mutalisks come in here, then I think there's a very good chance that Bomdagor will be able to survive this. Now, what he's got at the moment, Bomdagor's got these 2 observers at the corner, so hopefully just being able to see these, and that's going to take care of that Overseer, but just being able to see these corners hopefully will give him just that additional few seconds of time to prepare for the Mutalisks coming in. There is a pylon here close to the probe line just over there, but nothing over on this side. This is what I worry about, but you can probably warp in quite a lot of Stalkers just over on this side, because you will need... Stalkers are pretty much the only anti-air, well, other than sentries, but we won't call them anti-air because they're just sort of sending the old tickle beam there, and that is not quite enough. We would like to see a little bit of Chrono Boost happening on some of these buildings, but at least the Chrono Boost is not full, because at this point in any game, at 17 minutes, I would be super full. Here comes some Archons, because that is another way of taking out Mr. Mutalisk. So I would guess that right now, oh no, so Bomdagor, no, I'm sorry, Sinear brought down the Mutalisks into the main large army ball, which seems like a silly idea to me, because you'd think you'd want to attack ground right here on the front side of things, and then after that you'd bring in the Mutalisks to the side, because at that point, when you hear the little voice saying, oh, our units are under attack, you think to yourself, yeah, I know our units are under attack, there's a big giant-ass army over there. Bomdagor finally taking a 3rd, and we're looking at 5 bases down here for Sinear, but there's all not... actually, no, there is quite a bit of difference going on there. But Sinear getting into Facebook money territory, which is kind of a shame, because he really should be able to take care of a lot of these things. So right now, if you look at the larva, you get 27 larvae. I mean, why are you not making any units? I don't understand what's not happening with... Oh. Ha 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 ha! It's a 200. Alright, time. So this looks like it's going to take a near chunk of things. Now, the problem there is 27 larvae, even if Bomdagor does well here, because, as you can see, Immortal, Stalker, the Blink's up, +3 is not quite done yet. But with this army here, Bomdagor is going to completely eviscerate this army, but the big issue here is that with those roaches, really? So Sinear is deciding to go back to roaches, despite the fact that we are up against Charge Lot, Immortal, Sentry. I think at this point I would probably stick to a bit more in the way of Mutalisks, but that would be just me, and I would probably lose this game. So here comes Bomdagor, not afraid of nothing, coming in here, probably want a little bit of Guardian Shield to go up against these things, and here comes the rest of the Roach army, and possibly this is going to be a slight overextension by Bomdagor, but going up against these roaches, as the roaches are only 2-2, and we're now at 3-1 here for Bomdagor's units, as that is going to be pretty much good night, Princess. Take care of the remainder of those roaches, get rid of that entire army. Here's a Greater Spire, which is probably not going to be doing all that much, but there are a few Corruptors on their way out, which aren't really going to be spitting at anything. They might actually hit a little Corruptor down. Oh, here we go. Nope, I didn't even have that. Here it comes. Ah, there we go. So we've got Corruption, covers the target army, and Zerg Slime, increasing the damage taken. Forgetting to do that entirely, and just basically moving down a few more roaches. So still on plenty of larvae right now. 16 larvae, so Sinear was getting quite a lot of those injects at the time. aside from the fact that it just was not quite enough at a 200 capacity army, but just cannot make anything quite fast enough. Trying to get the attacks. There we go. Now is finally, it was too little too late on the third flying attacks, and this is just base at a time, falling, and these corruptors are just sort of standing here, not able to attack anything, and they are being picked off very simply by these Link Stalkers. We're coming in here and moving up closer to the Queen's taken out. The Spore Crawler's not really shooting anything, so just a large army of not killing anything going on right now. There were a few, I did see a few Brood Lords being being hatched, but I don't think that was quite enough, and the EPM finally hit up to 124 as to 148. So it seems the Sinear was doing a pretty high EPM, but just could not handle what was going on. I think once you get up to Facebook money, and I know you had a 200 army, but that is when you just start getting all the upgrades. You get 2 Spires. Honestly, start hitting up these +1, +2s, a flyer attack stop. Bomdagor, get up the damn ramp. What are you, me? There you go. So here he comes. Up the ramp, and a few more things happening back at home. The Templar Archives, because look at that. Storm's almost done. Actually, Storm is about the only thing that hasn't been completed. He's got everything out of the Twilight Council, and how is the Bay doing? Pretty much the Forge, still only 1 Bay, but nothing for Gravitonic Drive, didn't get anything else. But this is the point that Bomdagor was getting the upgrades that he needed in order to finish this game, and then just getting a few gateways at a time. And here we go, even a 4th base, which was just pointed out by Sinear and just found. Pretty much a GG all around. I was pretty happy with that. Now, what I normally like to do with the Friday Fav is try to do a bit more of a kind of funny game. Bomdagor was asking me these things. He said, "Oh, I should send you some replays." I said, "Yeah, by all means, send me anything you got." And so he sent me a little pack of just a few. And I just wanted to get some stuff out there because I enjoy looking at games, and I enjoy sort of cold casting things, and this sort of it actually helps me quite a bit. But what I'd really like the Friday Fav to be about is about games that are just absolutely hilarious. Just something that you found funny, even just one thing that you found funny, or something that was just, even if it was a funny conversation in the text, if nothing to do with the game whatsoever. I'd love to see it. I'd love to cast it. So send me your funny games. Send me your hilarious games. Send me any interesting kind of scenario that happened. Win or lose, I don't care. To ziggityzig@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at ZiggyStarcraft. You can leave any kind of comment down below. Thank you, Bomdagor, for sending this in. I will link this Bomdagor's YouTube channel down below, since I can't remember right off the top of my head because I'm not that smart, nor do I have a very good memory. But that's Friday Fav. Yes, we'll be back to actual HOTS. So once the Monday video is up, it should actually be some Heart of the Swarm content, and then we're into, oh man, I'll see what I place, and then I'll talk my way out of something. Stay tuned.